Next category is psychological, personality / personal. Would you say you're extroverted, introverted, or somewhere in between? I'm honestly not sure if this will be surprising to you based on what you've seen on this channel and seen me say and do and everything, but I'm honestly one of the most introverted, quietest people I've ever met in my entire life. I have a very hard time talking to people. I get anxious extremely easily, and I get really very socially anxious sometimes. I'll give you an example. I worked seasonally at the bakery in a Costco this past winter, and I worked there for 3 months, and I guarantee you by the time I left, there were at least a couple people who still had no idea what my name was, because I just kept to myself so much. And I mean, I just have a really hard time contributing anything to a conversation when I don't feel like I have anything valuable to say. I don't do well with like weird small talk. I can talk really like a lot about stuff that I like and stuff that I'm interested in, and with people that I'm comfortable with. Like I've had the same group of friends since high school, and I'm extremely comfortable around them. I'm exactly who I want to be around them. Everyone else I'm generally very awkward and very antisocial with, and not all that responsive with. People pointed out constantly that I'm just really quiet, and I don't like that at all. I went through 4 years of college, and I barely made any friends there whatsoever. I mean, I never lived on campus, and a lot of people that went there did, and they got a lot closer because of that, but I still feel like I probably would have been pretty antisocial if I had lived there. In the photo department, actually, that applies more to the photo department, but in the video department, because you're like forced to work in groups with people in video, because anything worth making in video you have to do in groups. I made friends in that because I was with the same group of people working on stuff all the time, and that was really good. But yeah, I just have a really hard time opening up to new people. I don't like the idea of being that socially awkward person that doesn't talk to anybody though, so I'm like really trying to work on this, put myself out there more, and being more comfortable being myself and all that. Putting myself out of my comfort zone a little bit more than I ever have, so. Which of your psychological traits are you most proud of, least proud of, and would most like to change? I like to think that I'm a good listener and that I care about what people have to say about things. I did get into this kind of slump where I just kind of accepted myself as I was and didn't really do much to make myself better, but generally lately, specifically, I've tried to really understand who I am as a person and why I am the way I am and why I do what I do, and to use what I've learned to actually make changes to myself and to what I'm doing to make myself a better person, and I'm hoping that I'm getting better and better as time goes on. I have very low self-esteem. I was made fun of a lot when I was younger, and I'm just trying to be more comfortable with myself and who I am. There are a lot of things that I need to improve about me. I'm way too emotional, I'm way too anxious, I'm way too distant sometimes. I am unstable for a lot of reasons I really don't understand. I can go from perfectly optimistic and happy to like alarmingly pessimistic and sad like that several times a day. I can go from calm and serene to seethingly angry like that. I don't know if that's hard to believe with what you've seen of me on this channel, but one of the reasons I started Booktube was to gain more confidence, to express myself and all that, and it's helped. Talking about books like this and watching other people talk about books has been really awesome, and it kind of makes me feel better, makes me feel more comfortable and all that, and that's good. So what's something you know you do differently than most people? I feel like I do a lot of stuff differently than most people, but I honestly don't really know if that's true or not. I eat foods in very weird specific ways sometimes. Like I'll eat burgers in this very, very specific like routine way that's really weird, and I don't really want to tell you. It's just really weird, and I just don't enjoy the burger as much unless I eat it this way. There also are a lot of things that make me really weirdly uncomfortable that usually don't make other people uncomfortable. I can be very irrational in my thought processes, and unfortunately my discomfort towards certain things in the world along with my irrational thoughts has kind of caused me to like passively judge people without really realizing that I'm doing it, and I don't like that, and that's another thing I'm trying to improve on myself, but it's just something I don't feel like a lot of people do the way that I do it, because of the weird things that make me uncomfortable. A lot of what I do in my life depends on the vibes that I feel in any given moment. I don't really know how to explain vibes other than it's just a combination of everything that I'm taking in and feeling at any given moment when I'm with someone or doing anything. There's a vibe for every moment that I've ever lived in and ever will live in, and they're all different. Some of them are awful and some of them are amazing. They're really hard to explain. They're intangible. They're just the most prominent thing I feel. The vibes of every moment I'm in are both informed by the way I feel and inform the way I feel. And it's just a really weird cycle, and I don't know how else to make sense of it than the way I've just explained it, and I'm not sure if other people are that way as heavily as I usually am. Which 5 memories, negative or positive, would you not want to part with no matter what? And another question that goes along with that, what are your top 5 favorite memories? Disney World. With my family, yes, but very specifically with my friend Jeremy. My parents let me bring my friend Jeremy with us once. And this was like one of the first years that Disney World was letting people do this after hours thing for people that were staying in the Disney hotels, and Magic Kingdom was open until like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and we would just, it was like almost completely empty, and we would just run around, ride rides. It was the funnest freaking thing ever. It was probably some of the most fun I've ever had in my life, just running around Disney World in the early hours of the morning with hardly anyone else there. Every memory I have with the music department at my high school, from being in the marching band to being on stage with the band playing music, to being in the drum line, to going on trips with people in the music department. I was actually really quiet in the music department. I didn't have that many friends there. I had a few very specific friends that I always hung out with in the music department, but being with everybody in that was always something I really loved. We got to march in Raven Stadium, and we went on spring trips to Disney World and Myrtle Beach and stuff like that, and it was great. Every memory I have at the beach with my family, we always went to Myrtle Beach every single year up until I was about 16, and we kind of stopped going every year, and now we haven't really gone much at all, and I really miss it. We always used to stay at this exact same place, and it was the funnest thing ever. It has some of the best vibes I've ever felt in my life, and I loved being there with my family. Every memory I have with my group of friends at our friend Benji's house. We used to spend so much time at Benji's house. We've spent so much time there over the past 8 years. Benji's mom actually sold her house this past August, and it's like really heartbreaking. I don't know if it's heartbreaking necessarily for everybody else in my group of friends, but for me, the vibes there were just amazing and really contributed to how much I enjoyed being there. I mean, I still love being with those friends, and we hang out in different places now, and it's still really great, but will always cherish the memories that I have at that house with that group of friends. It was just some of the best times of my life. All of the memories I have spending holidays with my family. We always like switch houses to go to for my family, and I'm actually really quiet around my family, and I've never really been able to express this to them before, but I really love being around them. I respect all of them immensely, and I don't think I could go a holiday without spending it with them. Are you a vivid or lucid dreamer? Are your dreams immersive, complicated, and remembered in the morning? My dreams are weird. They're generally pretty realistic, but they're also sometimes very fantastical. I hardly ever remember my dreams for very long after I wake up, although they're always very similar. Do you believe in true love, or are you more of a realist? I like how this question implies that you can't believe in true love and also be a realist. I believe that not everyone has the same understanding of what love is. I'm a realist in that I believe YA books that just have this random ass love just appear out of nowhere is mostly unrealistic. A lot of immature love exists disguised as true love, but overall I believe in love in a certain way. People that are extra cynical in their book reviews and stuff specifically sometimes talk about how, oh, this character found their true love, and I find shit like that to be extremely condescending and stupid. People have different understandings of what love is, and when you find a person that understands love in the same way that you do, a true love can exist between you. If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be? Oh, there's a lot I would change. I try to be more outgoing in both high school and college. I wouldn't sleep as much in high school. I'd pay attention more and do better in high school. I'd probably go to college for something different, because I'm in a shit ton of debt. I would have done a lot of different things in my friendships with people. I try to be more open and understand. I try to be a better person than I think I was looking back. I'm trying to make up for all of that now as much as I can, but I wish I could go back and tell myself to stop being an idiot before you start losing more than you gain. What is your happiest memory as a child? Picking one is kind of impossible. I did have a great childhood for the most part, actually. Certain things stand out negatively, but I'm in no position to complain at all. Childhood is just something that I miss in general. Next category is food. Do you like to cook? If so, what's your favorite dish to cook? I do actually like to cook. I am very messy when I cook, though. I like to cook things with shrimp. Me and my friend who used to have an apartment together, we went to this phase where we would only eat things with protein, and we started making protein pancakes, protein pizza, and protein cheesecake, and just everything protein, and that was really fun. We actually made some really good stuff like that. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? I don't know if I've ever eaten anything that you could consider weird. There's something that is really popular that a lot of people eat that I really love, that I think is really weird that we eat, and that's calamari, squid. I find it really weird that we eat squid, and yet it's really freaking delicious. The next category is fears and bears. Do you have any kind of phobia, any sort of disgust, or weird fear or something? Not necessarily a phobia. I'm squeamish and I really wish I wasn't. I have a fear of change sometimes. I might have tryptophobia, and like I said before, a lot of weird stuff makes me uncomfortable. What scares you? I'm sort of afraid of death in that I'm afraid of dying without having done enough to justify my life. What's the scariest experience you've ever had? A couple of very weird run-ins with police, mostly at abandoned buildings. Oh crap, and like real horror, like scare experience is, well, when I was really young, my cousin made me watch the movie Scream 2 with him, and it like really affected me really badly. I couldn't like be in my house alone or walk around my house at night at all for several years because of it. Have you ever had any supernatural or paranormal experiences? I don't really believe in anything supernatural. Maybe that's why I like fantasy and horror so much, because I love how imaginative and far away from real life it feels to me. What is your favorite bear species? Oh, that's difficult. I think I'm gonna have to go with just a brown bear. One that's really cuddly and fat and lazy and awesome. And bears are just awesome in general. Next category is miscellaneous. What are some of your favorite websites? YouTube, Imgur, and Humans of New York. Who are your favorite booktubers? I'll start with the first booktubers that ever commented on any of my videos, not because they were the first ones, but because I really like them as booktubers. The first one is Alicia Gordon. Really nice, has a really great, diverse book taste, funny, great personality, makes great videos that are nice and relaxed, great reviews and discussions. Second was Paige from Enchantology. She's really nice, has a lot of really intelligent book discussions on her channel. It's really nice to listen to her speak. She reads mostly fantasy, it seems, but has talked about a lot of other different things as well. Also has some of the best facial expressions you'll see. Erin from Cedar Sun. Really great, really diverse reading taste. Really relaxed, really cool. Great book reviews, made an awesome booktube Valentine's Day song. Has a great sense of humor in all of his videos. Scott Place. Really nice, really great guy. Once again, really relaxed. Definitely becoming more diverse in his tastes. Runs the Classics Club, which is for booktubers who wish to read more classics, and we're reading a classic every month. He has some great reviews. Definitely Spines and Tim. Both of them always really have great things to say. They do really great reviews. They're both really relaxed and nice. Really great to talk to in comments and stuff. Really diverse reading taste, especially because it's two people running the channel. Odom Entha. He's a really great reviewer, really honest reviewer. Gives really great recommendations and has really diverse reading tastes. Oh man, this is gonna take forever. Everyone I like usually has diverse reading tastes, is nice and relaxed, is great to talk to in comments, and just seem very friendly in general. Like Steve reads books, Inkbone's books, Just a Dust Jacket, Small Steps Backwards. And this kind of goes along with that last question. Do you have any favorite booktubers who have less than 100 subs? Yes. First is Final Blow Joe. People tell me that I have a really relaxing voice and a really relaxing demeanor. Well, you should go see Joe. Go listen to him. He's really great to listen to. His favorite are fantasy and sci-fi, but he does actually have a really diverse reading taste other than that. He's talked about several books and several series that I've never even heard of that all sound really interesting and now want to read. He has a really great sense of humor that's coming out more and more in his videos. Just a great guy in general and really deserves more subscribers, so seriously go subscribe to him. Then there's V for Vilda, who I think might have just passed 100 subscribers, but whatever. She has a really diverse reading taste, and she's just generally a really fast reader, it seems. She borrowed 20 or more books from a library at once. She's really big on Brandon Sanderson, reads from YA to adultish stuff. There's a good mix there. She's really active on Twitter and kind of communicates really well with people through that. Then I just found out about this last one because he commented on a couple of my videos as Tattered Reader. He only has a few videos so far, but he's got a really great diverse reading taste. He's a Stephen King fan, which is always a plus for me. He doesn't have many videos up yet, but his sense of humor is coming out really great in his videos. He's got a really great sense of humor, and he seems like he'll be a booktuber to watch in the future, and I think you should all go subscribe to him. And if I think of any more, I'll put them in the description below. Everybody that I mentioned, I put a link to their channels in the description below. And anyone else I think of, definitely go check out all of the people that I put in the description. They're all great and awesome, and you should be subscribed to all of them. What is the weirdest thing you've ever had commented on one of your videos? This guy commented once that he wanted to make out with me. And I mean, I'm straight, but that's still it's a nice compliment. It's just not really one that I ever expected to hear in a comment on one of my videos. How do you start booktubing, and do you ever have difficulty motivating yourself to read? And do you have any recommendations? I just kind of did it. I got inspired by other booktubers, and I just thought it would be really fun to get into. And my advice would be to just get into it. Just make a video, comment on other people's videos a lot, try and talk to people that comment on your videos, make videos, get feedback, and just see if it's something that you feel you want to keep doing, and to see if it's something that you really like doing, something that it brings some sort of improvement to your life. I mean, when I started doing this, it's really like inspired me to read more and more, because then I get to come here and talk about books, about things I've read with other people, and it just really inspires me to keep reading all the time. And maybe that'll work for you if you try it. Would you rather live one 1,000-year life or 10 100-year lives? 10 100-year lives. What historical figure would you love to see in 21st century life? Leonardo da Vinci. With everything he did at the time that he was alive, I can only imagine the amazing things he would do if he had been born in this era and he still had the same drive to do amazing things. What is the most embarrassing moment that you have experienced? There's plenty, but I'll choose one that actually makes me laugh when I think about it. I talked about in my TMI tag that I used to play the bass drum in drumline, and outside of my high school there was these like brick, like half wall things that people could basically sit on, and we were marching through the area, and I kind of like tripped over one of them, and my entire bass drum just flopped over the brick thing, and I was like, my entire body went over and my feet were like hanging up in the air, and the entire drum line was laughing their asses off at me, and it was actually really hilarious but also really embarrassing. What is the one article of clothing that you would wear all the time if it never needed to be washed? Probably the shirt that I've worn in a couple videos that has like the universe and stars all over it. If you lived in a world where supernatural creatures were real, ghosts, witches, vampires, werewolves, wendigo, skinwalkers, demons, angels, dragons, pretty much anything creepy or mythical which can potentially kill humans, and you had to go on a hunting trip to take part in an investigation involving the lovely bloody murder of people and one of these creatures, entities, things who obviously did the killing, and ultimately defeat it, what would that thing be? Wow. I really want to say dragons. I think being like a dragon slayer would make me feel the most proud of myself. I'd feel the most awesome about fighting dragons, I think, out of all of the things you listed. Next question was asked by the same person, Inkbones Books. If there was one incident in time/history which you could go back to, change, and ultimately see how it would have affected history, what would that event be? You're not necessarily changing the course of history, you are just being granted the ability to see how life would change. I'd really like to go back and see what the world would be like without Christianity. That is not an attack on Christianity. I would really love to see what kind of religions would be here in its place, what art and literature and movies and life in general would be without it if it didn't exist in the world, because it has shaped our world in more ways than we can imagine. I mean, it's kind of impossible to imagine a world that hasn't been shaped by Christianity. And the last question, thank you, Aaron. Pirates or ninjas? Pirates, easily, no doubt. And that's it. I have no idea how long the total of all of this was. I'm gonna go edit this now and hopefully get it out to show you guys. I'm kind of dreading it because I'm really tired of listening to myself talk right now. My camera died a few times in the middle of doing this. I had to go out and shovel my driveway in the middle of doing this. But it was interesting. I really love the questions you guys sent me. Thank you guys so much for sending me so many great questions. I really hope you found this interesting and enlightening, and I hope you don't think I'm too ridiculous of a person now. I hope I haven't given away enough information to where you never want to watch any of my videos ever again for some reason. I don't really know. I just hope you guys enjoy this, and I'm probably not going to do anything like this for a very, very long time because it was very stressful and I'm kind of nervous about putting some of this stuff on the internet. So anyway, I will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. It really means a lot to me. If you have any more questions that you feel like you need to ask me based on anything I've said or whatever, you can ask me in the comments and I'll answer them in the comments. I'm not going to make another video like I said, but anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys. Goodbye.